You're watching Steampunks, the GameSpot show where we go through Steam's new releases and pick out some of the hidden gems that you may or may not have picked up normally.
Yeah.
I'm Edmund Tran.
I'm Jess McDonald, and there is a focus on hidden there,
Hidden gems.
which is why, as good as Far Cry 5 and Ni no Kuni happen to be, and they're both very good.
They're both very good. I'm playing a lot of Far Cry 5, let me tell you.
Yeah, but you won't hear about those games on this show because we want to tell you about some games you probably haven't heard about.
All right, Jess, so what'd you play this week?
All right, so the first game I got into was a game that looks an awful lot like Banner Saga, but it's called Ash of Gods Redemption. It's got gorgeous graphics, really interesting turn-based RPG gameplay, and it's kind of got a lot of interactive narrative elements as well.
Sounds a lot like the Banner Saga.
Yeah, so basically the game sets you up with, you have 3 protagonists. And the reaping is coming, the reaping from the reapers, and basically you're 3 protagonists trying to save the world. Yeah, look, so there are a lot of narrative elements in this game that come off like a little bit cheesy, or characters that feel a little inconsistent.
Right, let me ask. Are these developers not of an English-speaking country?
Yes, I really want to put a focus on that. The developers are Russian, and I think a lot of the occasional dialogue inconsistencies where they often speak in like a medieval manner, and then someone will just rock up and be like, yo, we're up shit creek, and it's like, I don't understand. When you do get into combat, it's half turn-based and half the use of cards, which are kind of magical artifacts that do certain things on the battlefield. And you're sending out a group of heroes, which is 6 people. It's nice to be able to chat to them at campfires and along the interactive narrative part of the game and build up those relationships. And I've played about 2 hours now, but I'd be really interested to see how they develop. Your lead protagonist, the captain of your entire party, can just die and the game keeps going. So when you get into battles, you'll be expending health and energy. And one of the things that takes some getting used to is certain abilities don't just cost energy, but they can cost health. So trying to do like a massive shot with your archer can knock down half your health. You have a choice of whether to attack energy or health. Attacking energy is really useful because it stops them being able to do their big nasty abilities. And also if you get their energy all the way down, you do double damage to health. So there is a traditional RPG framework underneath all of this where you get experience from battles. Your characters that you send in will be able to level and will be able to take on different abilities or get different stat buffs as they go. You can choose where to go and where to go next, and you have random encounters on the way, story encounters that will sometimes affect your party. And I love a game that has you make choices, but you don't know what the right one to do is, or you can't just like do the just thing and be rewarded. There are consequences to every action, and there is a huge focus on the fact that every hero is really just a soldier. Like no one is more important than anybody else.
Yeah, well, I'm a huge Banner Saga fan. I absolutely love the first 2 games. I can't wait for the next one. So I'm inherently a bit suspicious of this one.
Yeah.
But if you say it's good, maybe I'll give it a shot.
I think you should try it.
So if there's one thing I really enjoy doing, it's driving. And I love driving games. Not so much racing, but just driving games.
Sure.
So this next one is exactly that. It's a game called Jalopy. It's been in early access for a while, but this week it finally got its 1.0 release, so congratulations to them. So this is a game set in, I guess, a fictitious German state. Well, it's Germany and there's actually Eastern European countries, but it's not based on, actual topography or whatever.
Yeah.
The whole concept is you having this car that is a shitbox, and you need to sort of repair it, maintain it, and basically go on a road trip with your uncle across Eastern Europe and try and keep the car running the entire time. So you start off by like getting this car and it's got nothing on it, and you'll have to go through the processes of sort of putting a door on it, installing the engine and the carburetor and the air filters and the water and all that kind of stuff. You might like encounter sort of petrol stations and things along the way, but you might also run into a bunch of hazards on the randomly generated map. So you'll need to keep some supplies. So once you've got your car sort of set up and stuff, you pick a destination on a map, and while you're driving, you have to take care of the little things like do the handbrake, turn the key in the ignition. You'll be making like pit stops for fuel and rest, and that's where the other part of the game comes in, where it's like making sure your car is maintained and sort of earning money by collecting collecting junk and selling it at the shops. And if you do that, if you do decide to stay legal, money can be an issue, so you need to scrimp and save. Or later in the game, you can try and smuggle shit across the border illegally to try and get more stuff. And the ultimate goal is to help your uncle. Very early on, you discover that there's something more to his reasons for wanting to take this car across the country. But yeah, I'll leave that for people to discover. But I love just enjoying the quiet moments on this road trip, and I don't know, it's just a very low stakes game. It's currently $9 on Steam, but that's a sale price because they just went to 1.0. It's usually $15, but even at $15, this is a great game.
Cool.
And I just love the little details and its general Eastern European vibe.
Okay, well, for my second game this week, my first game, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And in this game, there is a lot to do, but just in one particular place.
Right, like there was in Jalopy. There's a lot to do in my car.
Exactly. So instead of a car, we're talking about a surveillance system called Orwell. So this game is called Orwell Ignorance is Strength. It's the second installment in the Orwell series where you work as an agent to an advisor in the government body that's called the Office within the Nation. And those names are exactly as vague as they probably should be, because this is a game about surveilling the people and the public. It's a very controversial system, as you can imagine. It deals with privacy and fake news. You are combing through people's Facebook pages, their Twitter pages. Of course, they don't have those names in the game. But basically, what you're working with is the internet. Much like in the real world, in this game, all these persons of interest put a lot of information up on the internet. You can also get their phone numbers and hack into their phones. You can tap into their phone conversations. And then out of all of that content will be little data chunks. So something will come up that's highlighted, like someone saying in a revolutionary blog, oh, I want to take down the president. So then that will come up as a data chunk which you can carry over and import into the Orwell program, and it will be acted on. So every single time you put a data chunk in, which is the only thing you do in the game tells you this cannot be undone. So Ignorance's Strength is separated into 3 different parts. You can pick up all 3 for $10. What you basically want to do is track what has happened to this double agent person of interest and what another person of interest is threatening to do to the government. I think Orwell's really interesting. It's not like anything I've ever played before. I also love games that ever let you go through anyone's emails or like personal correspondence, and this game's really good at not having cutscenes or anything like that, but really making their people into people. It's a really interesting game to play, and I can't recommend it enough.
Leave us out of your plans, Raban. We want nothing to do with them.
Don't you understand? It's not my choice.
All right, well, you played a game where you were browsing a fake internet from a game you downloaded from the internet. I played a game on my PC about building PCs. So I played PC Building Simulator.
Yeah.
And this is a freaking good game. This simulates the nitty-gritty details of building your own custom PC. So yeah, like Jalopy, actually, you'll be taking individual discrete parts and like plugging them into sort of a PC case. So you'll be like taking apart the case, like putting in the components, screwing in all the screws, which is tedious, but not as tedious as it is in real life. Wire it all up properly and see if it boots. You can't plug things into the wrong way.
Right.
And it will tell you if something is missing. The majority of the components, as far as I could see, are all based on real manufacturers' components.
Right.
So I always find like MSI video cards that I personally have and Cooler Master cases and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it does this amazing thing that once you've built the tutorial PC and boot it up, it zooms into the monitor and it becomes what's on your monitor. So it's like you're playing the game within a game within the game. So there's a campaign mode where, much like Jalopy, you are helping out your uncle.
Wow.
With his failed computer shop. So you'll be in this small space and sort of answering emails and fixing people's computer problems as they bring in their cases. So you'll be doing things like, taking the PC, diagnosing the problem, and then like installing new software on it, which is really hilarious because you have to wait for like the virtual install times.
Wow.
For, like the virus install program. Obviously, a big part of owning a PC store is actually buying the components. So there's like a whole in-game online shop. And yeah, this is an early access game. Just came out this week. I'm having a great time with it, and I'm gonna play this a hell of a lot more, I think.
Alrighty, that is everything we got for you guys this week. Do let us know if we've missed any hidden gems that you enjoyed on Steam or wherever else this week. I'm at Jess McDonald.
And I'm at Edmund Tran.
And we will see you with 4 new games next week. So let us know if anything catches your eye.
See you later.